We begin in Bangladesh, where police are cracking down on anti-government protests, firing tear gas and beating demonstrators on the streets of the capital. Several prominent opposition leaders from the Bangladesh Nationalist Party have been detained. Hundreds of their supporters have been arrested. Demonstrators are demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. They want an interim government before a general election next year.
We are following the democratic ways for a peaceful event. We are conducting our event with the people and our supporters. They may beat us, but we will stay strong in our demands. We are following the path of ideals and righteousness.
The Bangladesh Nationalist Party is leading the protests, attracting tens of thousands of Bangladeshis to the streets of Dhaka this month alone. Chaos, too, in several other cities, with disruption to road links between the capital and other parts of the country. Trucks and buses stuck in gridlock for hours. At times, protests have become violent as demonstrators call for the resignation of Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister for the past 14 years. Our correspondent Tanveer Chowdhury joins us from Dhaka. So looking at things behind you, Tanveer, have the streets now calmed down?
Yes, it's pretty much calmed down, but people are anxious. They're worried ahead of the election. They expect more violence, unrest in the city as the opposition and the government party both having a showdown in the street, both calling for demonstration. The ruling party, Awami League, has announced a major demonstration across the country. What they said is the opposition violence in the country. So they're going to have demonstration all across the country tomorrow. The opposition is still having meeting. They'll probably announce some sort of program. They've been doing that since last month, series of demonstrations, rallies, and marches across the country. Now, today's incident comes quite unexpected. There hasn't been any recent violence, but today's violence, each side is blaming each other who provoked this violence. The opposition yesterday in the rally announced that they'll have a sit-in in the intersection that's connecting the city to the rest of the country. They're not going to block the roads. But something happened which triggered the violence. There's a lot of videos circulating, a lot of chatter in the social media. One particular video I want to bring your attention that was posted by alternative media and the online. It shows a bus driver who said that's two guys with Molotov cocktail in front of the police came and threw the Molotov cocktail in the bus. They even said, "Do you want to get burned by the Molotov cocktail?" And then they sped away. So this sort of thing obviously sparks the violence. We don't know exactly who started that. Another element is that a lot of ruling party supporters, particularly from the student wing of the ruling party, takes part in this violence along with the police. The police supports them, and that creates a lot of provocation. And obviously the opposition has to also respond. They're not immune from violence. They also provoke violence sometimes. Now, we know that two of the prominent leaders were beaten up. One is in hospital. The other was shown having lunch with the head of the detective police. They've probably been released. Even the Prime Minister sent fruit basket and wished him well in the hospital, one of the leaders, to get him well. And as far as we know, that ahead of the election, there's going to be probably more violence. Even the United States said that they expect the situation in Bangladesh to be more volatile.
Tanveer, if I could jump in here,
because
as you're talking, we're running pictures. We can see quite disturbing pictures of protesters. It looks like they're being beaten with batons, with sticks. Like I said, quite shocking pictures to look at. And one wonders, is this crackdown actually working in terms of stifling the protests, or is it prompting people to vow to go on?
Well, it could be both. In one way, this particular video you're watching is actually one of the prominent leaders who was beaten up like that. He's really badly injured in the head. Now, the government has been playing intimidation tactics. They've been checking people coming in the cities in the bus, putting up checkpoint. They're checking personal mobile phone, which was unheard of in this country, looking to see if you are a member of the opposition party, whether there's some sort of videos of some sort of email exchange between you and opposition parties. That sort of thing never happened here. And also the ruling party has been saying that we will deal with you in the street if you try to provoke us. The government and the authorities blame the opposition for obstructing traffic in the streets. and they said that we'll deal with that accordingly. But as we know that the election is there and these sort of things are going to be common, but the opposition is gaining momentum and it will continue to probably protest in the street in coming weeks and months.
All right, thanks so much, Tanveer Chowdhury.